architects listen to their clients? Stick around with me as I share with you why, as an architectural designer, I sometimes choose not to listen to my clients. It might just change the way you think about design. So I recently started working on a project where the clients wanted to create a ground floor extension to make their existing living room larger and have utility room along the side of the house, which would be accessible from their living room. Sounds straightforward, right? So what I've done, we got the survey drawings ready, and preparing for the meeting, I created my own interpretation of their brief and created a design which I decided to show to them after discussing their brief. So during our design meeting, we went through their brief. I sketched along as we were discussing the brief, and we sketched through a few options, and we arrived at the conclusion which they were happy with, which exactly was meeting their brief, giving them larger living room at the back and utility room. Once they were happy with the design, I suggested to them that we can have a look at my initial interpretation of their brief. However, I did think that it doesn't actually meet their brief, so they weren't getting larger living room and they weren't getting separate utility rooms. So I thought that would be probably waste of time really talking to them about my own vision for their property. However, as soon as I got the sketch out, they were quite shocked and amazed with how much space they can get just by remodeling the existing layout, which initially they didn't want to touch. They didn't want to touch existing kitchen as it has been recently refurbished, and they didn't want to touch existing ground floor bathroom. So what I've done, instead of extending a living room at the back, I moved the living room to the front of the house where the dining room was, and instead created open plan layout where they would have open plan kitchen islands, dining room at the back, bifold door along the back. There was no utility room, unfortunately, but I created a space along the shower room where they could have washing machine and tumble dryer, and they could dry their clothes, which was part of their brief. So they were quite amazed with this proposal. It's something they haven't thought about, and they were actively against touching the existing kitchen, but after seeing the proposal, they are now reconsidering their priorities and their brief, and we are getting ready for the second design meeting. So stick around with me. Let me know what are your thoughts about the design process in the comments below.